For our last video, we will be making this lovely bypass ring. For the beaded bypass ring, we are going to need a bead. I chose a blue one, and then we will be using a ring mandrel, fingernail file. For the pliers, we have the straighteners, the wire cutters, flat nose pliers, and the needle nose pliers. We will be using 20 gauge wire to create the band of the ring, and then a 22 gauge wire to attach the bead. It's always best to start with a smooth wire, so we're going to straighten out our wire first before we get into creating anything. Next, we are going to grab our needle nose pliers and create a small loop at the very tip of the wire. Then we want to make sure that that loop is centered over the long end of the wire. Next, we will be placing the wire onto the ring mandrel so that we can wrap it into the size that we want. Holding the wire securely, bring the wire up and around, and then bringing it past the first loop, we will measure a space that is wide enough to fit the bead that we have chosen in between. Now that we know how much space we need in between the two ends of wire, we will hold that mark with our fingers and create a 90-degree turn in the wire. Then we can use our needle nose pliers to create a loop that mirrors the first one that we made. On the first loop, the end of the wire is now towards the inside of the bypass, so we will wrap the second loop to mirror that first loop, bringing the wire around so that it is on the inside of the bypass. And then once we have cut off the extra wire, we will take the needle nose pliers again and finish shaping that loop so that it matches the shape of the first one. And now, using the 22 gauge wire, we can add the bead. We are going to secure the wire onto the band of the ring, and we're going to start just under the loop and then wrap the 22 gauge wire down the band of the ring. Pushing the wire together as we go up towards the loop to create a tight spiral. You can make this spiral as wide or as narrow as you like. I like to have it a nice tight spiral, so I'm going to use my flat nose pliers to squeeze the spiral together so that all the wire is stacked against each other, but you could leave it loose to have a more open look. Once you are finished wrapping, trim any extra wire off and then secure the end with the flat nose pliers. Allowing as much wire as you need to create a wrap that is the same width as the first one, we are going to add the bead and then begin wrapping that wire onto the band. To match the first side, we want to wrap our wire directly under the loop and then down the band. Wrapping the wire tightly and pressing it together to create a tight spiral. Once you come to the end of the wire, we will use the flat nose pliers to tighten the spiral as well as press down and secure the end of the wire so that it is tight against the band of the ring. You can also tighten the spirals by squeezing them from the top with the flat nose pliers. This allows the ring to be slightly adjustable. I'm going to be making mine into a size 7, and I'll press down the loops on either end so that they have the curved shape of the ring. Lastly, we are going to check all the ends of the wire and make sure everything is smooth with the file. And now you have finished creating the beaded bypass ring. I hope you enjoyed watching all of the videos in this class. Please leave a review, let me know how it went for you. Also, I'd love it if you attach pictures of the projects that you've made, and I'll see you in the next class.